Namaste and welcome to the new edition of Insightful Conversations at Auro Bharati. Since June of last year, when we restarted this series after some gap, we've been bringing to you conversations with several individuals from various domains of activity. Individuals who have been consciously expressing in their own work the essence of Indian cultural spirit and have also been successful in giving new forms, new expressions to the eternal spirit of India. Today, again, we have a very special guest with us, an artist whose chosen medium of expression include colors and brushes, and who for the last 30 years or so has been immersed in creating art that comes from a place deep within her. Her name is Miss Bindu Popli and she comes to us from Delhi. And our session with her today is titled Antar Yatra, an artist's journey within. So before we hear from our guest, let me give you a brief introduction about her. Bindu Popli is a Delhi-based artist, a graduate from College of Art, Delhi, where she received several awards and scholarships. She's been a recipient of M.F. Hussain Gold Medal and also of National Scholarship from Ministry of Human Resources. And she's had the privilege of being trained with artists of some great acclaim. Her work has been shown in several solo and joint exhibitions. Over time though, as her inner journey began to take precedence over seeking outer acclaim, her art and artistic process began to evolve and her inner experiences started to express more and more in colors and forms, subtly portraying the ethereal, the subliminal, and even the formless. So over the years, her art has become more and more an expression of and simultaneously an offering to the truth within her, truth that she realizes as she continues to deepen her inner journey. So this reminds me of something that Sri Aurobindo had once said, that Indian art at its highest demands of the artist the power of communion with the soul of things. And an artist who has cultivated within himself or within herself this Indian approach to creating art, for that artist, the sense of spiritual always takes precedence over the sense of material beauty. And for such an artist, fidelity to the deeper vision within is most important. In many ways, our guest today, Miss Bindu Popli, embodies this spirit. Now, as is often the case with such inward-oriented artists, Bindu too was initially hesitant to come online for a conversation about art and her artistic process. So we decided on a little different, somewhat creative approach. I sent her a small list of questions to which she responded in short video recordings. And then her very eloquent and contemplative responses, along with some inspiring words from Sri Aurobindo and the mother, were put together as this video that you are watching. This is our offering for this month's issue of Renaissance, the first issue in the year 2022. So in many ways, this approach actually worked out even better because it gives us a glimpse into Bindu's art studio in Delhi, where she did these recordings. And we also get to have a closer look at some of her recent works, which would have been otherwise somewhat difficult to do in a standard Zoom recording. So we hope our viewers will enjoy this special edition of Insightful Conversations at Auro Bharati. And without further ado, let me bring to you this offering for the month of January 2022, Antar Yatra, an artist's journey within. Thank you.
Drawing has always been my passion from childhood, and nature has been the best inspiration for me. I always used to feel very excited being in nature, being with plants, or being with trees along. So I think those were the first forms which I made. I used to copy plants, rose flowers, different kind of flowers. So talking about inspiration, I think every artist gets inspired from nature, and for me also, I always found natural elements to be more than their physical appearance. They somehow tell me a story. They somehow are more mysterious, more the veins going inside the leaves, the twigs of the trees. I used to lie down in the garden and used to see the tree twigs as if myself is expanding out of that. So that was I couldn't understand all this when I was a child. That how could I feel myself that these twigs are a part of me, that I find myself to be going in the air and leaves are coming out of my body. So these were very supernatural experiences which I used to feel during my teenage time. So, and I was very good at daydreaming also. I used to imagine, or I used to visualize some beautiful forms mixed with elements of nature. These dreams always inspire me to give them, to replicate them, to draw, to come them in a form of a painting. So for that I enhanced my skills. I joined art college to learn more about the technicalities of this subject. I could understand that what I used to see, what I used to daydream, or whatever you say, has some significance in finding your own self. So it gave me pleasure. The pleasure doubled when meditation and painting combined, or when I used to paint after doing meditation. So that feeling was very different, and I relished it, and I still relish it. Rhythm has also been a very, very important aspect of my painting. I never wanted to paint forms as it is. I wanted to paint the soul behind all forms, or the nectar, or the story, hidden story, the surreal character of things. Most of the themes I used in paintings are somehow, you can say, spiritual. From the very childhood, I had love for such terms like duality or oneness. I didn't understand at that time what exactly they mean, oneness or unity or unison. So when such themes came into my paintings, when a leaf is transforming into a hand, or a swan is becoming like a human being, so I came to know that this is actually the unity, the unison, the oneness of nature, and the oneness of all the elements of nature, and especially the oneness of us and nature. Somehow human being has started to feel separate. I've named this painting In the Dewdrop. She is sometimes she is in a leaf, sometimes she has become a swan. She feels herself in the minutest dewdrop also. So it's the beauty of femininity, which could feel herself anywhere she likes to be. The freshness of the colors, the vibrancy of light greens, and when pink mixes with green, the newly arrived leaves has a luster, has a softness which really touches the heart. And it's all the game of the heart. Sometimes it's not easy to express the theme in words because these are basically emotions or some visions which you feel. Uh, Inside me is also one of them. I've made a leaf which is personified in a female form, and she's looking inside her. She's looking inside her to find the real beauty, the real essence, which is connected to the whole existential element. In this particular work, though I have named it Soulmates, but I've tried to express that both the soul, I mean, both the masculine part and the feminine part, when they unite, both the masculine inside you and the feminine inside you unite, a different kind of energy creates, a kind of upliftment, a kind of meditative state is attained. So this is the particular theme of the painting. Coming to this work, I have always loved Krishna. Krishna is the favorite god of Hindus and magical, mysterious god. I've made quite some paintings of Krishna. This particular is one of my favorite artworks. This somehow evolved. I was not doing it actually at that time. I simply started with the central point somewhere with the face, and it kept evolving and evolving, taking the shape of Krishna, all the elements and the energy all around. So the process of this painting was very interesting. I enjoyed doing it because it was not pre-planned, it was not a particular vision, but it kept growing. And while doing it, I felt something evolving in me also. always felt that how a female relates to the nature is quite different. It's much more than its appearance, and these are the works which are depicting my relationship to the natural elements. Moreover, what I feel in Hindu mythology and Hindu religion, we always call female as Prakriti, and Prakriti means nature. So that's a very inherent feeling, inherent coordination between feminine aspect and the nature. So these are the series of works. I've named them Welcome This and this one. She is in the process of welcoming the new leaves. Moreover, she is also welcoming her new self. She is evolving along with nature. She is feeling its tenderness and try to be like it. She wants to be as natural as nature is. She wants to be that giving character should become a part of her integral being. So these were the themes which quite revolved around my mind, and I tried to depict it. And the form of the female which I have chosen is also not, though maybe it's not very anatomically, realistically drawn, but it's more like the shapes of the leaves. That her arms, her body is becoming, she's feeling that she's actually becoming like a leaf and becoming so giver, because nature is supposed to be a giver. I think materials have never been a hindrance for me. I could use anything which comes in front of me, whether it's a pencil, charcoal, crayon, water medium, watercolors, acrylic, oils. So it all depends on the mood, your temperament, or the way you are, the situation you are in. If I'm sitting casually, then I'll just pick up my pens, my pencil colors, and try to scribble something. Or if I have time, if I'm working on a bigger concept, I'll prefer working on canvas using acrylics and oils. So medium, I've tried all kinds of mediums. Also worked 3D with the paper mache, mixing paper mache with paintings. So I think mediums, working with different mediums is a fun, and it gives you a more opportunity to explore, to experiment. There are times when you don't work on a bigger surface. You use crayons, pencil, pens to scribble your dreams. So I think this is a very beautiful medium. What I use is ballpoint pen or any gel pen to create images which are going around in my mind. So these are the series which I call them Zen pots. They are basically, somehow I got attracted to rocks and stones and tried to see shapes and forms in stones. So while drawing, what I saw that all those stones are taking shape, or in fact transforming themselves into different beautiful shapes, or you can see these are pots. The rock getting transformed into a pot, which spiritually I mean that the solid rock is becoming like a receiver. He is creating a fetus inside it. so that he can receive the grace falling from above. So these are quite a lot, and it was quite a wonderful experience while doing all that, and you don't need much time to do it. It just finishes in one sitting. The inspiration of this painting is a stone. I got a stone from River Ganga. That stone was so beautiful, so alive, that the moment it got into my hands, I named it Seed, because I was seeing life growing in that stone. So this particular work is inspiration from that stone. That stone had some lines, some shades of different browns and purple, and though I have named this painting as the Seed of Awakening, because it was my first experience while holding that stone. So that whole process of awakening has been described in this work with different forms, with the images of Buddha, lotus, trees, and other elements of light. This is a small little work. I've named it Sugandh. Sugandh means the fragrance, and she again personifying a leaf, personifying as a female form, is in that process of feeling the fragrance of the flower, and the flower here is the male energy, and she is seen absorbed. Her expression is totally absorbed in the fragrance of super male energy. The medium I've used in this painting is gouache, watercolors and gouache, which is again a very flexible medium, and the softness of petals and leaves come very placid and beautiful in this medium. Moreover, this particular painting is also from the same series of gouache works, where I've titled this work as Jyoti Kalash, which means the pot of light. The pot of light is actually again a symbolism of soul which we carry in ourselves, a light which is the soul factor of everyone. And there is some existential energy which is carrying that pot of your light. It means you are a soul, and there is a super soul which is carrying you every time. You just have to realize it or feel one with that super soul. It is again an experience of meditation when you feel that you are protected or you are in the hands of some super energy, and the glow which is coming from the soul factor of yours is melting with the supramental or cosmic energy, cosmic light. poetic lines have been my favorite. It's not that I make them. It somehow it comes automatically whenever I start to scribble something. The curvilinear lines, the swirls, all those wavy lines come more into my drawing. And this particular work simply came from those scribbles. I was drawing something and suddenly this mudra of Lord Buddha came into my drawing, and it's a blessing mudra or centering mudra. It is more of a centering mudra when a person meditates and centers his energy to his navel center or to his original being. So this particular theme has been reflected in this work with the usage of lotus flower. Lotus flower again is the symbol of purity, the symbol of ultimate flowering. So the colors I've used in this painting are dark from outside because I wanted to focus the inner light. So just to enhance the inner lightness, the inner glow of the painting, I use darker tones on the outer surface. The energy when you feel at your third eye center, and it's a experience of a meditation which I tried to make, and I took the form of Buddha because Buddha is the ultimate of enlightenment. He has been expressed in many paintings, many sculptures, and I think no artist who is also into meditation can escape this form, because meditation itself is a process of moving towards Buddhahood. These are the experiences of meditation when I see some colors, forms merging into one another. I try to make them, and I want that whosoever sees these works should also get the same kind of feeling, at least to some extent, the feeling of calmness, the feeling of joy or bliss, what I felt during visualizing it or while doing it. Specifically in this work, I've tried to depict the state of trance. I don't know how much I am successful in it, but it made me feel very good while doing this. And in fact, after completing it, I could relate it to my visions or to my inner vibratory state when there are moments when you feel that your body is melting and becoming one with nature. So all those processes, all those mechanisms I want to convey in this still picture. Every artist works for himself or herself, but a stage comes when you really feel that, when that feeling of communication, you want your works to be liked by people, to be appreciated, to be others should also feel that feeling of goodness, what you felt while doing it. So it's just a kind of sharing. Coming to the economic terms, I think every artist needs money for material, canvases, paper, everything. So, and a time comes in life when you want your pleasure to be shared by all others. So I think that is the reason one sells, one likes that other person should possess your work and also feel the same pleasure what you have attained. And what I've gathered, I've talked to some of my friends or people, buyers who have been taking my works. When they tell you that whenever they get up in the morning or go to their drawing room or to their study and watch the painting, or they just happen to see that painting, they get that feeling of silence or that feeling of peacefulness, calmness, just by the glimpse of the painting. So this really makes me, I'm very thankful or grateful to God that the feeling I was living at that time is being inculcated in the painting or to the person through that painting. So this gives me quite satisfaction.